Good morning, everyone. Today is November 28th, 2021. We are going to chant Shoshin Nembutsuge in Gyofu style. So please join me in Gassho. Please put your palms together. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu. Shi myō muryō jugyo rai Namo fukashi ko hozo bosatsu ingi zai seiji zai obusho token shobutsu jodo in kokudo ginden shizen mak konryu mujo shu shogan chohotsu kei udai guzei kokoshi uishi shouju jusei myōshou mon jippo uho muryo muhenko muge mutai koen no shoujo kangi chie ko udan namji mushoko shogichi gakko shojin set issai gunjo mukosho hongan myogo shoujo Shishin shingyo gamnin Jodo gaku shodai neham Ishi metsudo ganjoju Nyorai shoi koshu set Yui setsu mida hongan kai Gojoku akuji gunjo kai Oshin nyorai nyo jitsugon No hotsu ichinen ki aishin Udan bon no tokune ham, bonjo gyaku hosai engyu, nyoshu shingyu kai ichimi, sesshu shinko jo shogo, ino sui hamu myoan, tonnai shinzo shi ummut, jofu shinjitsu shinjin ten, inyo ngikko fummut, shige myomuan, gyaku shinken kyōdai kyōki, soku o chōzetsu go akushu, issai zenmaku bonbu gin, monshin nyorai guzei gan, butsugon kodai shogesha, zenyin myo fundari kemida butsu hongan nembutsu, 자켄 교만 나쿠슈조 신교주 지징이남 남추시남 무카시 인도사이텐 시롱겟 주가지 지키시 고소 겜다이쇼 고세쇼잇 묘ኞ라이 홈제요깃 자강요라이 료가센 이슈고묘 남텐직 유주다이지 슈토셋 시츠노자이 하우무켄 셈제츠다이조 무조호 쇼감기지 쇼안락 겜지난교로크로크 신교 이교 시도락 오크넴미다 부츠 홍간 지넨 소크징 히츠조 유이노조 쇼ኞ라이고 오호다이 구세요 텐진보사츠조롬셋 기묘무게 공요라이 에슈 타라 켄신짓 고센노 조다이 세이감 고유 홍감 리키에 고 이도 근조 쇼이싱 기뉴 크도 크다이 호카이 이츠갸 긍유 다이 에슈슈 徳子蓮華造世界、即小信用発祥人、有本の林源人図、入生寺音寺有月、本師論乱両天使、上高乱消防殺来、三蔵ルシ十上教、本上専業気楽法、天神菩薩論中下、報道因果見世願、方言でこういうたり、頂上心唯心人、枠前本部新人ポツ、承知生じ即涅槃、一子無量光明道、小修上回復系、同社結晶道難症、唯名浄土活入、万全自力変言宗、円満特合感染症、三不三神慶音言、増末法滅道品、一生増悪地具税、治安業外消妙化。全道独妙無所依法愛上三陽逆悪光明明語見人年会議本願第一会行者小樹今後心教期一年総合よい大当逆三人即小法小地上楽原神公開一大慶雨延期安行官に祭先祖死有心反先人法権義道小弁理由奥自由悪人唯小仏他薬剤品摂取治癒煩悩証言水不見大悲無見上世が本資元空妙部慶雨連民全幕本部人新州慶雨小公変死戦弱本願 愚悪性現内生じ臨伝芸平地義上異生死即義有弱上無意楽一心人二の義有愚教大事修士等上際無変極上悪同族自主愚道心有意化心死高層説ナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブ生存が一心奇妙人実法無下工業来願生安楽ナマンダーブツナマンダーブツナマンダーブツナマンダーブツナマンダーブツナマンダーブツナマンダーブツナマンダーブツ Now I would like to share the words of Tannisho, so please join me in Gasho. Please put your palms together. 善人なおもて往生を遂ぐ言わんや悪人をやしかるを世の人常に曰く悪人なお往生すいかに言わんや善人をやこの上一旦その言われあるにたれども本願他力の意種に背けりそのゆえは自力左前の人は一重に他力を頼む心をかけたる間皆の本願にあらずしかれども自力の心を翻して他力を頼み立てまつれば真実法度の往生を遂ぐるなり煩悩具足の我らはいずれの行にても生死を離るることあるべからざるを哀れみたまいて願を起こしたもう本に悪人成仏のためなれば他力を頼み立てまつる悪人元も往生の勝因なりよって善人だにこそ往生すれまして悪人はと仰せそう来期とナモアミダ仏ナモアミダ仏ナモアミダ仏ナマンダ仏ナンマンダ仏ナンマンダ仏ナンマンSo this is the third time we are reading the same chapter, the words of the same chapter. So I skipped the English translation, but you can read the English. So please read the English. And actually, these words are in the collected works of Shinran. So if you have collected works of Shinran, you can read these words in the collected works of Shinran. Or there is a website which puts all the materials in the collected works of Shinran, and the link is in the description section of the videos. So please refer to the links too. So, to understand the word evil means we are reading the explanation of the word evil in the glossary of collected works of Shinran. So let's continue to read them. It should be noted that while the term evil has moral and ethical implications in Shin Buddhism, its chief significance is religious. The essential meaning of the term evil is a person's inability to perform any religious practice whatever, any act to bring him or herself to the attainment of Buddhahood, because of the deeply harbored blind passions that motivate all his acts. In other words, whatever moral or ethical good persons may do, and however pure and spiritually disciplined they may make themselves, every thought that they have, word they utter, and deed that they do can result only in sending them to hell, and not one can bring them closer to enlightenment. Nevertheless, the essential intent of the primal vow is the attainment of Buddhahood by the evil person. And, I often use this metaphor, but even though wiping the table might be a good action, if we try to wipe the table with dirty cloth, it does not clean the table. And Buddhism thinks that thought or intention as the important thing among the three actions of verbal, physical, and mental. And because we think and act physically or verbally, so the person like me who possesses blind passions cannot generate the power to move me towards the enlightenment, because the power must come from the pure, true, and real mind. And the act led by the blind passions will be pulled towards hell. But because of this nature of ours, Amida Buddha established a vow to bring evil sentient beings, evil person, to the attainment of Buddhahood through the power of the primal vow, through the power of the name Namo Amida Butsu. So next, in order to understand Shinran's concept of the evil person as the one in accord with the vow, it is necessary to consider Shinran's use of good and evil. Know that the primal vow of Amida makes no distinction between people, young and old, good and evil. By acting on the impulses of such blind passions as anger or greed, one may inflict harm and suffering on others. This is part of the Shin concept of evil. But as stated here, human judgments of good and evil hold no meaning from the standpoint of the primal vow. However evil one may be, one will be saved. However virtuous one may be, or diligent in religious practice, such good is of no aid or significance whatever. So the act led by blind passions may inflict harm and suffering on others and also to the self. But we do not need to despair our evil, meaning, evil meaning possessing the blind passions. And I believe the example of swimmers by Reverend Naito, which shared in the past, was really easy to understand. When we board on the ship, it does not matter if you are a good swimmer or bad swimmer, or even you cannot swim. It is the working of the ship to carry us to the destination, and it is not our abilities of swimming. And just like this, how deep our blind passions might be, it does not matter. How good we are, it does not matter either. We are equally carried by the great ship of Amida's primal vow. And next, in the realm of the primal vow, there is only the Buddha and evil beings. Good people in the ordinary sense, people who believe their actions to be good and who strive to make them so, cannot enter there, for they believe instead in their own judgments, will, and capacity to do good. People who rely on doing good through their self-power fail to entrust themselves wholeheartedly to other power, and therefore are not in accord with Amida's vow. Because of their calculation, such persons cannot entrust themselves to the primal vow. They stand within the realm of intellect and morality, the realm of ordinary human life, and cannot encounter that which transcends such life. So good people rely on their ability. It is like even though there is a ship to carry us across the ocean, this good person is trying to swim the ocean because the person doubts the safety of the ship. And what the person rely on is their calculation mind, their intellect and morality. And next, the Shinran continues. When they overturn the mind of self-power and then trust themselves to other power, they will attain birth in the true and real fulfilled land. In abandoning attachment to their own good and becoming their foolish self, persons come to encounter the vow. That is, abandoning the thought that one is good and even the belief in the ultimate significance of human good. One realizes one's evil and becomes evil in Shinran's sense. It is precisely such an evil person who is liberated by the vow. So the person who was trying to swim across the ocean realizes the limitation of the ability of On and board on the ship. The person will be able to cross the ocean by the power of the ship. And becoming their foolish self does not mean to act foolishly, but to realize the foolish nature of possessing the blind passions. And next, the self-realization implied in the concept of evil is strongly expressed in the characterization of evil as karmic, akugo, zaigo. Karma signifies the history of the human existence of a single person flowing in a line of cause and effect from past to present and present to future. Karmic evil frequently used together with ignorance, mumyo akugo, and blind passions, bonno akugo, implies the infiniteness of one's evil, stretching back into the beginningless past and harboring unknowable evil in the depths of the existence of the self. Because of eons of repetition and habit, this evil thoroughly pervades one's life. Hence, to become aware of the deep root of existence of oneself is at the same time to become aware of its basic nature as evil, being pervaded by blind passions. So let's divide it here. Indian religions talks about the reincarnation or transmigration. And as we often see the word from the beginning passed down to the present, this is the understanding that we have experienced countless lives in the past and were not able to liberate ourselves from this transmigration because of the blind passions. We don't necessarily need to think or know what we were in the past lives, but we are here because we were not able to get rid of the blind passions. And this realization is important, I believe. And this nature of possessing the blind passions from the beginningless past down to the present is my evil nature and evil karma. And the section starting from karma. Karma further implies that one's evil is of one's own commission. Thus, there is a basic difference between Shinran's concept of evil and the idea of original Shin in Christianity, in which one shares with all humankind the Shin committed by the first man. Moreover, Amida's great compassion is absolute. There is no place at all for the judgments of Shins. Hence, neither is there any redemption of Shins. Persons are grasped by great compassion, just as they are, possessed of evil. Their Shins are worked out not by Amida Buddha, but by the law of karma. In a sense, persons must deal with their own evil through the karma at work in their lives and redeem it themselves. Amida has no part in this. So this section talks about the comparison of Shins of Christianity. And karma is action, which binds ourselves to this transmigration. And we all have different karma, even though we say that we all possesses blind passions. So it's not like the original Shin of Christianity. And I have shared Reverend Kakehashi's words before many times, so I am not sure if I should share it again, but you see Reverend Kakehashi's words on the right. And salvation of Tathagata is not to forgive and compensate what we have done. It is to give us right wisdom to recognize our faults as faults and give us courage and capacity to take responsibility for what we have done. It is to turn our self-centered idea to feel sympathy for the other's pain and to wish for people's happiness. It is to cultivate our mind to be able to know the importance of this mind. So we are not praying to Amida Buddha for forgiveness and compensate our sins. Amida Buddha grasped and never abandoned us just as we are. And this means that as an individual, we still have karma to bind me to this transmigration, but just as the bad swimmers would be carried by the great ship to reach to other shore, our karma is not the matter for Amida Buddha. But when we encounter the working of Amida Buddha, we receive the wisdom to see our nature of possessing the blind passions and self-reflect our daily actions based on the blind passions. So even though we encounter Amida Buddha's working, our nature will not change, but we gradually begin to become the person who stay away from the three poisons. And it's been a while, but when my child or children were little, I really appreciated the elevator because we had a lot to carry, including strollers. And escalators or stairs. We cannot carry the strollers as is. And we might need it to fold it down. But elevator carries the stroller as is. So I really appreciated the elevator at that time. And I believe our appreciation for Amida Buddha's working is similar to this. Just like stroller would be carried by the elevator as is, we are carried by the power of Amida Buddha as we are. And when we realize our nature of the deep-rooted blind passions, which ties us to this transmigration, we appreciate the benevolent working of Amida Buddha. And this is the life of Jodo Shinshu Buddhist, as I understand. But anyway, almost towards the end of the glossary. So let's finish reading it. Evil thus describes persons who have been taken into other power just as they are, living out the consequences of their acts. Nevertheless, when persons have been grasped by other power, without their calculating in any way, all their past, present, and future karmic evil is transformed into good. This is not to say that their karmic evil is deprived of its own inherent action. It at once follows the law of karma and is transformed by other power. Evil then must not be understood merely as a label for the human condition. It refers specifically to persons who entrust themselves to other power and live in its working. This entrusting is at the same time a realization of oneself as evil that cannot be attained through the self-reflection carried on by human intellect. It only occurs within the realm of the primal vow, the Buddha's mind, which transcends the dimensions of intellect and consciousness, and therefore transcends morality and social life. So the word evil is not like the Christian term original sin. It is not a label for human conditions. When we encounter other power of Amida Buddha, we realize our nature of possessing the blind passions from beginningless past. And this is our nature of being evil. And this realization cannot be attained through the human intellect. And lastly, through the light shed for them by the Buddha's wisdom, persons become aware of the evil at the roots of their lives. And while they are grieved by it and repent, they are also filled with gratitude for Amida's compassion. In referring to evil, Shinran uses both aku, waroshi, and zai, sumi. Sumi refers to human defilement, in contrast to the purity of the Buddha. It is, therefore, fundamentally a religious concept. Aku, evil, is originally an ethical and moral concept used in relation to good and confined in its meaning to the realm of human relationships. Shinran uses this term in the religious sense outlined above. However, and this usage expressed the close relationship between religion and morality. Precisely by transcending morality, the realm of the primal vow lends supports to morality from a more profound level, and morality itself performs a function of leading us through self-reflection towards the world of the vow. So, my good friend, Reverend Dr. Takashi Miyaji, who is now teaching at IBS, his main research was Jodo Shinshu ethics. So, if you are interested in the Jodo Shinshu and ethics, you might want to ask him about it. But, I hope going through the explanation of the word evil in the glossary of collected works of Shinran helped to understand what evil means in our tradition. So tomorrow, finally, we are going to see the explanation by Reverend Naito. So in closing, please join me in Gassho. Please put your palms together. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda. I guess today's explanation was long and, I'm really thirsty right now. So today is Sunday and we are going to have a Sunday service from 10 a.m. on this YouTube channel. So if you have a chance, please join us for the Sunday service. If not, I will see you tomorrow morning. So thank you for attending today's service and have a wonderful day today.